We all know what water is. We all know what air is. Two of the most important requirements of the body-mind. Isn't it wonderful, or whatever the word is, that we don't have to find air? However, there are certain people that have to have oxygen, and they have to be linked to a source of air. But on the whole, the human race is already, if you like, connected to air. And we would know almost immediately if we weren't connected to air. Air is accessible. We can't see it, but we know, not mentally knowing, but we know because we are alive. That's the telltale sign that air is here, is omniscient. And the other thing we need is water, but water isn't as accessible or easily accessible as air is. We haven't got to do anything in order to access air. But water we have to. We have to turn on the tap. We have to actually walk into the kitchen or go towards the tap. We have to have a container. And we have to drink the water. We have to do something in order for our hydrating the body. And we do need more water. And I was reading this book. You're not sick, you're thirsty. The importance of drinking water is outlined in this book. Pure water, that is. And it is the cure for many, many ailments. But there's something that we aren't aware of. We haven't really had someone to educate us into the importance of linking up to an agent, linking up to someone that will heal us of the disease of feeling separate, of feeling forlorn, of feeling that we need that something else in our life, feeling lonely, feeling unhappy, feeling that we need stimulus and excitement, feeling that we need company, feeling that we need more and more things, and maybe more food, and need sugar. We feel that we need, there's something missing. And what is missing is we haven't been taught the real meaning of the word sin. For the real meaning of the word sin is an act of separation, represented by this activity, clenching the fist. And it's that clenching of the fist that we are actually feeling. I call it the self-contraction. We're contracting. We're actually contracting from our true nature, our inherent nature. In effect, this contraction is stopping the life force from living us. The Spirit, the Holy Spirit, the Shakti force, the divine essence, real God. Due to the self-contraction, we think and we feel that we need this, that and the other to make us happy. Whereas in fact, we are inherently already happy if we didn't do this self-contraction. Our true state, represented by the open hand, is our true condition with a capital C. The body-mind's true condition is God, is real God, not the imaginary God or the God in your head or the God in your projection or the God that you think made this, that and the other. No, I'm talking about a condition, a state, a disposition. We know that a piece of paper is a piece of paper. Just trying to think. Oh, no. I was going to use something. Oh, here we are. So, here's a piece of paper without anything written on it. This is also a piece of paper. But look at it now, crumpled up. I'm afraid that's how a lot of older people are. They crumple up. They become more and more unable to function. It's a very sad sight. Now that plain piece of paper, which looked like this, has now become this, full of creases, lots of little knots, crumpled up. It doesn't look like it did before. This is due to the contraction, or this appearance is due to the self-contraction. The paper is contracting upon itself. What use? Well, yes, there is a use for the fist at times, but the open hand disposition is of greater use. It embraces. It's intimate. The open hand serves. The open hand disposition is awake. Why do we do this self-contraction? I don't know, but we do. How do we not do the self-contraction? How can we live in our inherent happy state more and more? Well, although I'm not a formal Christian, I'll bring Jesus into the equation. Jesus said, love God first. And he said, in order to love God first, you have to love me Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Meaning that if you fall in love with Jesus or with a God man, and my God man is Adidar Sambraj, but there are many God men. If you allow the God man to be your mediator, your connector, your agent, under all circumstances, you won't contract because you're falling in love. Now, Adidar has written a wonderful essay. He's taught me such a lot. He's re-educated me. And he calls this the Dreaded Gomboo. It's quite humorous. He's calling the self-contraction the Dreaded Gomboo. He says, if you want to get religious in our time, you must first decide that you have the Dreaded Gomboo. Once you feel ill, you will then go to the Dr. Pope or Dr. Church or Dr. Jesus, Dr. Mahatma, Dr. Mahatma Boo, Dr. Gombooananda, Dr. Gomananda Buharaj. As soon as you get the feeling that you have the disease, you start looking for religious answers. Ask most of the people around here how they got involved with this way of life, and they will describe some symptom or other of the dreaded Gomboo. The dreaded Gomboo led you all here because you were looking to be cured of the heebie-jeebies. So he's talking to a group of people that became his devotees. So basically I'm saying we are diseased, and it's due to no one else, due to nothing other than one's personal self-contraction. We're doing the self-contraction. And that self-contraction is at the root of all seeking, of all immaturity, of all childishness, of all adolescence, of all depression, unhappiness, irritability, frustration, arguments, rows. The self-contraction is at the root of many diseases, physical diseases, mental diseases. This self-contraction, which we are adding to already happiness, is not necessary. And we do it because we aren't feeling happy. We're not feeling in love. We're not feeling mature, feeling okay. And very few people know about this activity of the self-contraction. It's not necessary. And once one realizes that one is doing this self-contraction, then the cure is this Holy Communion that the Church talk about. Holy Communion is this linking to God via an agent. Many things supposedly makes us happy. But what those things are doing are not necessarily making us happy. They're revealing to us our happy disposition. It's our real disposition. We all know what it's like to look through or try to look through a dirty window or dirty spectacles or a dirty windscreen. That dirt is added to the glass. It's not necessary. It certainly isn't necessary in order to see clearly. To see clearly through the glass requires a clean glass. And we say, oh, that's better once it's been cleaned. Well, we can also say that's better when we're not contracting. Oh, I feel better now. So we become addicted to certain things that supposedly make us feel better. Oh, I needed that cup of tea. Oh, I needed you to come. I needed to visit. Oh, I needed whatever. But all it's doing basically is relieving us for that moment, possibly, of the self-contraction. We're adding self-contraction to all aspects of life. The true state of the human being is already happiness. It's inherent. So this book is all about helping one to realize the enlightened disposition of living in divine communion, in that place of already happiness under all circumstances. Most people are suffering from being in dilemma. Should I do this? Should I do that? All that dissipates, it all falls away immediately. Have you all heard about the dreaded Gomboo? Aha, see, nobody tells you about these things. A myth has been circulating for many, many centuries that mankind is diseased, that all beings are suffering from what I call the dreaded Gomboo, also called sin, Maya, ego, suffering, separated individuality, illusion, delusion, confusion, indifference. You are all supposed to accept this diagnosis, realize how diseased we all are, and then submit ourselves to the local religious doctor or religious hospital, where a father or mother doctor will confirm our disease and require us to submit for the rest of our lives. Yes, of course, we need certain cures for certain physical diseases. Absolutely. But there is this one activity that is the self-contraction that very few people know about, and it is that which is at the root of all our relational problems, so-called, all our difficulties with one another. It's the ego, this self-contraction, and it's not necessary. we're operative from this disposition much of the time, and it's horrible. You see, that's horrible. I want my way. No, you want your way. We're at loggerheads with one another. We try to convince the other that my way is better. Everyone has an egoic position to uphold in life. So Adidar has taught me that I do this unnecessary activity, which is the ruination of living a life of true happiness and peace with one another and intimacy with one another. He's shown me that living like a clenched fist is very unhealthy. It's the ruination of living, basically that, of living, truly living. When there's no self-contraction, there is life. People are looking for a cure when there is no cure other than not to do this. Plenty of reading matter by Adidar Samraj, plenty of videos that you can listen to. About this very unknown fact that we are all doing this self-contraction. And for me, Adidar is the agent, just as Jesus was, and still could be, if used correctly.